I hope that you are fine. Actually, I miss you so much, guys. We reached to lesson 6 and we didn't continue our unit. So I decided to discuss lesson 7 with you, which is about biotechnology. Now, what is biotechnology? Okay, you see this scientist here, he is working inside greenhouse. He bred potato plant. Okay, what is he doing? The technique that is he using, it's breeding. Okay, it's used something we call it biotechnology. Now, what is biotechnology? Biotechnology is the use and application of living things and biological processes. Now, what do we do in biotechnology? We change the DNA. Okay, we take the DNA of the organism, we do some processes on it to change it. Why? To make some desirable traits. Okay, now we can use the biotechnology in breeding plants and animals and using bacteria and yeast to ferment foods. Okay, so name 3 examples of biotechnology. We have breeding plants, we have fermenting food, and copying DNA found at a crime scene. Okay, now what are some applications that are used in biotechnology? We have 3 modern things. We have artificial selection, genetic engineering, and cloning. Okay, now when I say artificial selection, it's the process of selecting and breeding organisms that have certain desired traits. Okay, so I use an individual with a specific trait that I need it, I want it. Okay, and I use it to I use these organisms to breed. Okay, to produce new organisms that they are having this trait. Okay, now here we have different dog breeds. Okay, now for example, let's assume that this one is desirable, so I take this one and I make it to make new organism, new offspring. So I will get what? I will get the trait of this specific species. تمام؟ طيب. Now artificial selection can be successful as long as the desirable traits are controlled by genes. Okay, يعني the desirable trait that I needed, it has to be to found in the traits and the genes of the organism. Okay, so I can breed it. Now, people don't change DNA during artificial selection. They cause certain alleles to become more common in a population. This is what happens in artificial selection. Okay, let's answer this question. Why might farmers use artificial selection to develop different types of vegetables? It's to produce vegetables with different colors, shapes, and tastes. Okay, you see these veggies here? Every one of them has different taste, different shape, different trait. So this is why we use artificial selection in veggies. Okay, now what about genetic engineering? It's the process in which a piece of DNA is modified for use in research, medicine, agriculture, or industry. Okay, so what we are doing in here, we are take a piece of DNA of the organism and I do some processes on this DNA. Okay, then I return it back, or I can do something else. I can take a piece of the DNA from a certain organism and combine this DNA with the original DNA of the origin organism. So again, I can get what? I can get new traits in the organism after I modify its DNA. Okay, let's answer this question. For what purpose can genetic engineering be used? It's used for, as we said, research, medicine, agriculture, or industry. Okay, now a cloning. What is cloning? Cloning is an organism, cell, or a piece of genetic material. Sorry. That is genetically identical to the one from which it was derived. Cloning has been used to make copies of small traces of DNA found at a crime scene or on ancient artifacts. Also, cloning can be used to copy segments of DNA for genetic engineering. Okay, so these are the uses of cloning. Okay, now scientists have introduced a gene to the DNA of these fish that causes the fish to glow. Okay, so I'm playing with the DNA of the organism. So this is what it's genetic engineering. Now a scientist is gathering DNA from clothing found at a crime scene. Then many copies of the DNA sample will be made. This will allow the scientist to further study the DNA. Then the scientist might be able to confirm the identity of the person at the crime scene. So I'm doing what? Cloning, because I'm making copies of the DNA. Right. Wild carrots have thin white roots. Over time, carrot farmers have selected carrots that have thick, bright orange roots. This is artificial selection. Why? Because I'm taking a specific trait and I'm breeding it. Okay, so this is artificial selection. Now, diabetes can be treated in some people with injections that contain the hormone insulin. The gene responsible for producing insulin in a human has been inserted into the DNA of bacteria. These bacteria then produce the human insulin that is used in the injection. So I'm taking a piece of the DNA of the human and I insert it in bacteria cell. Okay, why? To produce, to make this DNA, this part of the DNA that is responsible for producing insulin inside the bacteria cell. So this is genetic engineering. I'm playing with the DNA of the organism. Okay, so this is the whole lesson. I'm gonna send you the answers of the lesson review, inshallah, and that's it. I hope that you are all fine and in a really good situation. Good luck, everyone. Bye.